Um, Thank you, everyone. This is my first time. It was really good to open thing. Really just was the mission wise. I think in terms of individual things and like 2000 things that you know along those lines. So I'm ridiculous amount of goals. And things that seem to just represent all the different things when we revisit this topic. Yuna, she was kind of a big guy behind this and really helped this is it. This is the thing we created. With the help of Saki as well, the idea behind the island issue was to.
Sorry, can you speak into the mic?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, you like that?
Yeah. No worries.
Sorry, I was being more intimate, but I will be more technological. A story of my life. So essentially, the idea of this magazine issue was to try and capture some of the differences and distinctions that I think come along with being connected to an island, being brought up there, the experiences of being there. A lot of people would see it as sort of removed from the world. And I think a lot of islanders kind of bridle at that sense of this being away from the centre, away from the world, rather than a world enclosed and in its own right. But in every poem here captured, it plays with that sort of difficulty. The other thing that we were really quite keen on is, obviously my biases might lend itself towards the Scottish island, being from the Outer Hebrides on the west coast. But the issue, if you've read it or going to read it, coming towards it, is managed to span quite globally. We have poems from Iceland, Trinidad, as I say, the northern and western isles of Scotland. There's Dominican Republic and Ireland, Cyprus, Tasmania, and quite a lot more. So what we're going to do in terms of this evening, we're going to start off. Fiona's going to do a small introduction. There's going to be a tribute and a commemoration, and then we're going to start off readers in batches of two. Without much further ado, though, I'll pass it over to Fiona, and just again, thank you very much to everyone who's attending, be it live and in person here. So thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Thank you all so much for coming in. So, editing's hard work. Some of you know that already. And the first reward gets when this arrives in the post. And the second reward is when we get to do launches. And we did one in London last week, which was fantastic. And tonight again, it's going to be such a treat to hear 6 of the poets in the magazine read. I'm Fiona, by the way, Fiona. Co-editor with me on this. But first, before we start the readings, I'm going to introduce Isabel Buffy, who's a Magma team colleague of mine, to do something we'd much rather not be doing, which is pay tribute to our friend and colleague, Oyega Udibanga, whose life was tragically cut short in the summer. He was a friend to many and a really talented poet. And as Isabel will tell us, he was also a fantastic, wonderful, lovely, dependable, friendly colleague. So, Isabel.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing before we do. Yeah, I would it behooves me and on behalf of the whole board to really just pay tribute to our recently and departed co-chair, Oyega Udibanga. For me personally, I met Boyega at the start of 2020 at a literary festival, and from the beginning, he had an effortless charm and quiet magnetism that typified the best of what it means to be an artist and community builder in today's world. I only had the privilege of chatting with him a few times outside of work, but every time I did, he was exceedingly kind, optimistic, funny, and wise, not to mention hugely talented and a big inspiration to everyone around him. As the co-chair of Magma, he brought vitality and fresh ideas to the role, along with a prudent matter-of-factness that still left room for people to bring their ideas, their creativity, their questions, their hopes, and for everyone to be heard. Boyega was a truly generous individual, with a wisdom that was well beyond his years and a presence that continues to be felt. In this issue, there is a tribute to Boyega, which further expresses what a cherished colleague and mentor he was to so many. And so if you have not already bought your copy, please do, and join us in celebrating not only the island issue, but also the magazine's providing spirit, Boyega Banjo. Thank you.
Again, thank you for those. Again, thank you for those words. We're going to start the readings now, and we're going to begin with two poets. We've got Christine DeLuca, and we've also got Roshni Gallagher. I'll begin with Christine, though, in Edinburgh. I hope that she needs no introduction, really. She writes poetry and fiction in English and Shetlandic, her mother tongue. Her recent collection is V, which was published by Mariscat, again, Edinburgh-based in 2021, and she's well known for collaborating with a host of musicians and artists. The second poet, even those in Edinburgh might be unaware of, Roshni. She's got the good graces to come from Leeds and now to live in Edinburgh, so the two cities of my life. I think nothing better can be said than that. So Roshni, to be honest, she has a poem, a poetry pamphlet with Verve that we published at the start of the year, called Bird Cherry, and she's currently studying masters. And I would just welcome them both. I think Christine's going to go first, and then Roshni. And thank you very much.
Well, I have a wonder. I think that's quite good. Thanks very much, Neil. It's lovely to be part of this evening. I'm going to read you two poems, and they're both in my mother tongue, the Shetland tongue, and they're both linked to the sea. So I'll start with the one that's not in Magma, and it's called Discontinuity. I'll give you a little bit of help in each case. Discontinuity, a geological term, where you have rocks which are of different ages and types close together. And that's a kind of a metaphor, I suppose, in the poem. It's relationships as ambivalence, it's that kind of thing. Seize the day, I suppose, as well. And what has happened was I was walking along the beach and I found this, in Shetland, found this gorgeous, big, perfect heart-shaped stone. And I couldn't take it back on the little Logania plane. So I propped it up on the cliff and hoped it might stay there. One or two words. Whale is just to select. And sandy loo is a little seashore bird. It's a ringed plover, the one with the ring around its neck. Scurries along. And to greet in this case is just the Scots to cry. And the lullaby is that lovely breaking white wave on the shore. I think you'll understand it quite easily. Discontinuity. I could blend the wide sea is smooth the stains, the silk of touch, the wailing, lading, and will the heart be there when I come back? But I could blend the sandy loom. He was clear but white again. This one I know. Nay, you can o'er your sugar tight, does no wet. See the wide swell of joy is drained. Dance the day, the morn, you slip into eternity. Or I could blend the hush that calls you till your lip could blush. The other words that could be said, but you had fun. That's what happens when you step in time. That sense of fault line vimmering through you, the sign of doubt. Only the sea can breathe and sing at the same time, shade and light, cobalt, ultramarine, and I'm within time, a flush of bush. That's what happens when you go along Shetland Beach. Now, this one is called Goodbye Perspective, and I wrote an English version of it for the catalogue of the exhibition of Orkney and Shetland painters here in Edinburgh. But it never felt right because it was written in English for that purpose. So I thought, I think I'm just going to write this, rewrite it in Shetland. And by perspective, beyond perspective. We're really asking, can you really capture Orkney and Shetland? It's the Northern Islands. I don't know. A few words. Bleidig is buttery. If you tack the dots, you're sulking. And Dimmaluri means a bit somber. Your tapster, your boss, and a very, very calm sea. You might say it's a REM calm. REM is thick cream, and still calms. And for walking, we use the generic verb to travel. And road is just spume, sea spume, and briggy stains. Those flat stones that used to be placed outside croft houses to keep your feet down. Briggy stains. I think we fit this. Goodbye perspective. Skies that defy reality, watery or unclean, sumptuous from time to time, or softly, bladedly. But they can change them. Tap the dots, come Dimmaluri. The wind is tapster, shifting wood for rain calm, the sea shatter. You travel the end, happy breath, dodge throw, Yesnaby, Versi, Pitfall, Asians, batter the big stem. That's the light that captures, the way it plays over water, melds luft with horizon, glitters vistas, includes rolling or tipping, till sea darkens and land croaks and crooks. Bathrooms of the past, oh, have one pittance, the chalk land, wayward sea, Scotland, Mussel, Gurness, Starabrain, history whirling wildly, ancient days. And with resist you. I've got to challenge the artist.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you to Neil for introducing me. I am just going to start with my poem that's in about the archipelagos in Gothenburg in January. We take the train here over water that steps out into clouds. Later, they lead us to the meets, and we watch their creaking bodies, hot, steaming as they tip through the trees, their sleek backs, furred like otters, like lumbering bovine seals. The spectacle of them, our breath held in bloom. All day, people ask me about my Indian face. And you tell me about my friend Mo, who lived here for a year, and all that time, he watched himself from outside of himself until he went mad. We wake late to the bloom cafe and the cinema, and long candles of orange light, presence of silence inside me. There's so much strength in their bodies and ribs, so much distance in their hooves. When I stand still, they gather at the fence and groan. And I'm going to read maybe two little poems from my pamphlet birthday, kind of thinking about the more metaphorical. My granny dreams of Guyana. My granny looks at me and she sees herself. A living room full of glasses, half drunk. Pictures of gods hang above the bed. She listens to a record, spinning out in another room, another house. The rant of rain on begonias, mangrove and wood slats, the parrots asleep. Things change. I try to pull quiet in to cover us. The walls sing. She looks at me and she sees herself in the sanctuary, the water, the waning sun. And the last poem, this follows on. All at once. Last night I found you, walking through my dreams. Your voice was light, unraveling down the stairs. A string of poems. All at once I remembered, and you remembered me. On the floorboards, the sun cooled into a sea. Your house was bright with sleep. It was you. It was you. I remembered. You came back for me. Another of the really lovely things about editing is that you get to come across poets whom you didn't know before. And so next I'm going to introduce two poets that whose work I hadn't come across before and was really excited to find to be panned for gold among the submissions. So I can't see you with my glasses off. I can't read with my glasses on. We'll have Colin Bramwell and then Julie Wilson. Colin is a writer from the Black Isle. His work has appeared in the PM Review, Poetry Review, and the Rialto. Gillian Dawson works in the library. She's a member of Monday Mirabal, Glasgow's Poetry Network, and winner of Gutton and Edward Morgan Trust's All Things Are Possible poetry competition. So please welcome Les Colin and then Gillian.
Well, can I borrow someone's copy of the magazine? Would that be okay? Oh, very good. Okay, fantastic. So I've got a little kind of bit of a sky. No, it's certainly won't. Yeah, so I have two poems today. One in response to Sorlin MacLean's great poem, Hallie, Sky poet, Sorlin MacLean, and the second about another poet, introducing us. I'll read the first one first in the magazine. This is Eviction after Sorlin MacLean. There is our squat burden, beloved radicals, Tweesh, Heather, Hazel,
mountain ash, a dwelling wanes, a forest cants, knocks, vertical, no mine. He's a minute. The wood is coalescing. Nae power, nae wood. It was Sunday. Mind that. That was us. It's I, us. Plant it. What we were. Sticking with it. Kept level. Top doon. Penitent three lanes. Dochty, as it was. Coming back to their congregations on fit. Be burned to wood. Cellar to silver. Gathering. Coming back in half lit. Steeper. Keckling. Amber gloss. Nichts. Sundown. Low. Beer. Beer snuffling. Frosted moon. Well, in response to McLean's great poem Hallowed about the Highland clearances, which is one of those ones which speaks to the kind of devastation, but also the kind of sort of permanence. I mean, McLean's poem. Another sort of great quote from Sky, on top of greatness, these things are self-evident. It was someone who we lost last year, who was Angus Smith. I knew Angus quite well, and we before he died, we were working on a collection of his poems, which I'm glad to say will be coming out in February. It's a lot of his previously kind of uncollected English language poetry. He was a Gaelic poet, but he wanted to kind of correct the perception of him, and also Gaelic poets as well as many wrote. He wrote a lot in English, and so I'm excited to see that book come out. This is an elegy that I wrote for him. It's called The Divide. The snow is tarrying. It fell the night he died. As sure as melodies of words go back to the divide after their silence has been spoken, now the cold air will decide if what has fallen stays or goes. Go back to the divide. This is what he said to you, your mentor by the Clyde. Write about the things you know. Go back to the divide. You heard the man's advice and took a language in your stride. You made its siblings share a hearth, went back to the divide, went back to Burrick Stealing Croft, continued to Kilbride, and heard the Sabbath of the dead from one outcoming tide. Imaginary wounds or real, no spear that pierced the side could convince you that the song was done because the tongue had died. As it was moving in your mouth, alive in present tense, you threw away the cross but kept your faith in permanence. And permanence was what you preached to a growing congregation, a pacifist declaring war on Kirk and punctuation. No stop is full but only partial. Each word gives another life. Beyond is the unceasing matter. Believing in an afterlife, you spurn the goal for butter, and in this winter light, the snow seems spread by you somehow, golden and cold in half light. And now the ancient moon comes out, exhausted and bright-eyed, to bring you to its hearth, and you go back to the divide. To love's to write, and love is work for children of the pen. The night has come, and Innis White is Innis through again. Halfway now between two homes, the dog star at his side, and all of us who love the man go back to the divide, to tack more tent of our only world. Glittering the waves tonight, gull intones his final set below the fading moonlight. Sees applause's endless roaring hands of rock and water. Encore, encore, and more gulls read. Each cry becomes another beyond, and silver meets the song, and snow and gull unclarified go back, 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 back to the divide. Thank you.
It's me again of the one last line. It's not me again for one last line.
Thank you very much. And Magma, and subscriber for members and users to say anything. This is basically my student feeling about the lightkeeper at space. So this is the lightkeeper's ghost, Ellen Moore. He sings golden, clear to the ocean of storms and shores of stars and understorms, shivering constellations, light, safe, and surreal. In the small current, inner reflections turn like the mirrored lanes, planets splinter, lamps of waves of desire and rest. His samity voices sway and swell, the guillemots tremulous. His tongue is silver, shattered silk, devastating, fresh, the blue. The second poem is going to follow on from that. It's also a Latin poem. I'm a big fan of Jules Verne, so reminding Jules Verne from the next words and phrases. And I came across this word incubation, which I've never heard before, but apparently it means to work by lamplight in Latin, and it's labours, especially studied book, especially in that which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out? Listen to me, mouth convulsively opening, filled with spilled seas of deep, intense flow, the abyss of the ocean. What passes in those remote depths we can scarcely conjecture. Happiness, significance, and other liquidations. Believe in environment with faith, not by reason, but factitiously and deeply. Hope is a blossoming of tentacles. And a little tiny thing again. And I will not want heaven's philosophy of it. Into each life, some waves must flow. Do not let the boulders grind you down. A journey of 1,000 times begins with a single day. It is better to tumble hopefully than to arrive. Warm sun, cold heart, a big heavy, always transit.
This time I promise. I was about to say, as I came on there interrupting, I was feeling quite nervous at the start of this event. Just because I think when as somebody who's more used to standing up on stage with a poem in front of them, you can use it and just think like, here's the poem and take a wee step back. But just listening to the poems here being read, just startling. And I think I've got swept up with poems reading there and Nicole as well. But there's supposed to be 2 readers in this set, but Christy is pulled out, so we're just going to hear from Charles. Charles I know very well, as somebody who's been one of the Roddy Lumpen mentees for the past year or so. He's from Glasgow. He studied at the University of Edinburgh and Queen's University Belfast, and his poems, terrific poems, have appeared in Poetry Ireland Review, Poetry Review, The Stinging Fly, and elsewhere, and works right now at the Scottish Poetry Library here in the city as well. So here's the chart.
It's really lovely to be part of this issue and part of this reading this evening. I'll read 2 poems. One is on inappropriate, is about spring, and the other one is about winter. birds. Like somebody once said, arise to the sound of their song. They too that come by to play beside your bed on Monday. It's nice to have them back. Tiny wee things. I wondered whether wings could take them. I read a book about urban birds. Names are lost, habitats forgotten. It's better to leave it off to take place. Let them hop, skip, spin their paganistic dance. On a coastal holiday, it was seagull, up earlier than the local baker, and fighting like buck. In truth, I tried to dodge magpies. Better none at all than risk the cast of sorrow. Right now, they're everywhere. In the park, when spotted, I encourage them to fly. This one's about Christmas. The Oasis. In this place, we know each other. There's no escaping everybody here remembers you, knows your family, your friends, worries, greatest achievements, mortal sins. They remind you of them, it breaks the ice. Being horrible is the easiest way to be nice. It's always the same when you come here. That's why we come. We fall back, talk to people the first time in ages, since the last time we were here. Catch up on what we've been doing. The same as usual, you know yourself. It's always the same. It's warm. A wee bath of cold. The smokers go come back in again. Baltic, so it is. Rub their horns together. The lights, the trees, the tinsel necklaces, pound coins in the jukebox. We share the music. I love this one. It gets you going. Get your ass up, go on.
Well, it's my great pleasure. On page 33 of the magazine, and give you a definition of a selected poet. So every issue of Magma highlights a single poet who's emerging or whose work deserves to be better known. Allowing us to publish a wider selection of poems. And this issue, it's Clementine E. Burnley. So it's a real pleasure to introduce her. To do a slightly longer reading for us. She was born in Cameroon and now lives and works between the UK and Germany. Clementine is an MSc in Applied Linguistics from Manchester University, and she's currently a part-time practice-based student at the Research Society for Process-Oriented Psychotherapy, with a focus on conflict in organisations and groups. Hard to imagine anything that more topical. Sounds absolutely fascinating. Clementine has been published in Ink, Sweat and Tears, Magma, and the Poetry Review. In 2020, she was shortlisted for the First Pages Fiction Prize, and in 2021, she was the Royal Society of Literature Sky Award winner for creative non-fiction. She was highly commended in the 2023 International Poets Prize. And, well, we just loved the poem she sent in. I was delighted to be able to go to the launch of her pamphlet, which was published by Mission Press just a few months ago, which is on sale along with the best pamphlet. So please welcome Clementine. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the whole team. I did screen one out of things after you.
I could explain why I did that. And then I found it. I have a history. I have a history because I have a poem published when I just started to write poetry. I was still living in Berlin, and I was named. I think I was named. My poem is Poem of the Month in May. There's somewhat I link it to in terms of meaning. And so I'm going to start off just trying to find my way. I might actually start with something that's not in nothing, because it sort of is a starting kind of poem. Really. I've been writing a lot about people who are always arriving. And so this one is called The Newcomers, and its subject is actually a relative of mine. The newcomers. In their 20s, women who live in colonies all over the world tie their shoelaces and march right over the sea onto hospital wards in London, where they midwife a generation of East End market traders' sons. The first time a trader cries out, "I have a boy, I have a boy." My auntie faints. Who am I to judge? When the proud father comes to hug her, she's caught off guard, nearly drops the squalling, squirming, vernix-covered child. I really don't like this, she thinks. And so Mandem, they hear, maybe I should put this in prayer. They should learn to not hug up when people do, no matter how glad. So now, this is my life. Love in extra time. You live underneath a major flight path you have never seen visit. From your neighborhood near Schiphol, you can see the landing gear deploy. The aircraft engines sing like humpback whales. You have never seen the need for travel papers. Elsewhere, the hurricane's eye expands. In Irta Ale, the earth cracks open its 1,000 mouths. On New Year's Eve, indeed, 5,000 red-winged blackbirds fall from the sky. The televisions say only small islands grow nervous at every slight rise in the surf. This season feels like regret on the skin. Everywhere, border forces merge with the police. At the garden's edge, giant hogweed encroach the silvery stems of the thistle. We spend more time outside. On longer days, we walk the dikes. A sprinkler wets newly sown tomato seeds. This poem is called Lazaret, and Lazaret is somewhere where people who have leprosy are confined. And this particular island is one that's just off the coast from the island where my family comes. So I was quite interested to discover the history. They come from the mainland in 3 curve-browed dugout canoes, escorted by stairs in silence. Sometime, now this one, people then call Exodus. The harbor is shaped like a hole. When crushed between the fingers, pink frangipani blossoms discharge a bitter-tasting sticky note. There are sea cliffs and goat paths here. Thorny chukuchuku bush clings to shattered boulders. There are no uniforms or punishment rules today. 5 miles away in the mainland, tea bushes creep closer to the Palapala fields, where wrestlers still grapple. Place only prison you if you want to leave. Here the body itself turns cage. There's a sliding quality to the island hour. Days are spent plaiting bamboo streaks into fish traps. But only few fat fishermen among them, and them net barfish or sweet capitan. We force sea snails from rock, rob seabird egg from nest. We no get no sneaky, no sugarcane fields, no bad air swamp nearby, no cocoyam heath, no 12-hand plantain, no orange brown oil palm in full fruit. Cells unravel the regular order. Matter takes surprising twists. Limbs are truncated. Fingers turn foreign. Here, no one watch me. I'm going to read another poem that was fairly new to me. Domesticating the wild ox. Most of the world is cattle. Take Galileo on the night before he repents. Who would blame him? How much he wants to see all the other tomorrows. And yet, he turns. Aurochs roamed across open landscapes. The long, thick horns, powerful neck, strong shoulders of the European bison were sufficient to drive off a pack of timber wolves. The wild ox's small udders were ample for its own young. You go along well at first, and then you begin to listen. How much better off you would be if you ignored the whispers of your own voice. You go to sleep aside, you wake up, the sugarcane field. Surely an enslaved person in Athens would choose to be a philosopher, and yet how full of delight is the indigo night. Just going to check on the time. Okay. This one is called Summer. I crossed the border at dawn, riding high at the front of a Luton van. Cars circle roundabouts the right way. This island leads me aside. Since Englishman has shut my mouth, I don't ask why the leading company is called Kingdom. I don't ask where God was an hour ago, in the no man's land of Calais. I say brother, as I say feather. Some words carry more weight than others. While I slept, my brother coiled his fan into the shape of a dream. While we drove, he held on. This island leaves him with surprise. He's alive. How's he not burned? This island unfolded the body tucked between the exhaust and chassis of the Luton van. I have reversed over a mirror and mirror. I have said, in the end, we will be the same. I meant it. Now my brother sports by the axle. Why am I nervous for myself? When this island welcomes the papers I carry, this island welcomes the man I drive beside. My hair goes upwards. His veins reflect blue light. Pernambuco is the largest island of the coast of West Africa. That's the title of the poem is also what the poem is about. And I dedicated it to Titi Mary Showers, who was a great aunt of mine, I think my grandfather's cousin. Mary Showers sits in the cane chair of mourning. The red and white box on the mahogany side table contains plain cabin biscuits arranged in rank like soldiers. Some say a blackbird can forget the sky. She calls out, "Dooya, Dooya," after children who only giggle. Miss Mary Showers watches the sun rays sling past the polished leather tip of her shoe toward the cane chair of night. She reads the rent statements from her estate. Navy ships, hostage the coast. She hums an aria and is transported to lunch with the jetty de policier. She rises only to chase the chair of me. So then I might read one or two poems from my pamphlet, Radical Pen, and I forgot to thank my publisher's admission process for this. I'm really excited about it. I'd like to read a poem called Wolf. Though our ancestors hunted her kind through highland rainforests 10,000 years ago, though nettles grow up over hill skies, through a stand of dock she watches, curious. Boys lay a perimeter of this around the canvas tent. Triangle ears turn to the sounds of their small, safe deaths, their tenderness. A wolf is spotted aboard a train in Brussels, in pubs on the Polish-German border, instead of musk deer, staghorn ferns, and the road to wooden trophy doors. She leaves a boggy stink in stairwells near Glasgow Bay. Her treads never push smoothly. Watchfires linger after 3 pregnant bulls are shot on the way to France. Near the Forest of Dean, a dog walker raises the alarm. When night blots out the purple of Penroy, the search for wolves is abandoned among brambles so thick a pizza box is a smudge in the surveillance footage. The DNA profile captured in her scat is tagged Lone Female. She leaves a footprint between the daylilies. The shadow of an overhead pylon marks the floor. And I think that I'm going to finish. The poem I wrote a long time ago and it didn't fit into the pamphlet. It's called A History of the World Through the Eye of a Child. This story is for those who starve seeking a mental food, who migrating from the largest oceans to the narrowest of inland rivers change their coat from marine silver to match the quieter brown of resident tribes, returning to salt water only to change again. On a clear day, you can see 6 meters up. Greek fires, commotion riding the water. On shore, the painted hordes, and Julius Caesar without befalling sickness. A Roman god in a sea silk cloak, so fine, light, and golden. This story is for those who gleaned from their hover, for a moment, enjoy imperial regard, before being cast back to wait in kelp forest and be chosen again. Truth in Gaelic is black. This story is for beauty. Thank you so much.
Testing, testing.
Still works.
Amazing. So it is mixed up with that. Yes. Should we do this together?
so fun. So first, please, let's have thanks again to all the poets who read tonight. So that's Christine, Roshni, Colin, Gillian, Charles, and Clementine. Thanks all so much for coming and reading. Thanks a million to the bookshop. Thanks to our audience online, which includes, I think, Nora Najarian, who's in the magazine, Molly Twomey, and Christine Knight. So all three of them in the magazine. Hello, if you are listening in.
Yes, and I'll just wrap up by saying I think now's the time for wine, both at home and in the bookshop, I think. And particularly thanks to the Magma team and everybody else included in the, to give me the opportunity to guest edit and just to be aware of so many more poets, such richer writers of the UK and around the world. So thank you, and especially for those who read tonight. So thank you very much.
And thanks so much to Neil and to Sophia, fellow editors. It's been great. We've been really thoroughly spoiled and indulged. So yes, that's all I think.